Exterior day, an early summer evening with Flash Rose and Sam Beatty taking practice hits with a voice-activated pitching machine. There are other ball players practicing their skills all over the stadium. Flash and Sam command home plate for the first time being. A storm is brewing up quickly in the west, with an ever-darkening sky and lightning its predominant precursor. It will soon block out the sun and is already making the long summer day darken before its time. The lights come inside the stadium in Omaha.
You remember that old movie? I can't remember the name of it, but remember being 5 or 6 and already in love with baseball. I watched it on DVD player and watched until the player broke and we couldn't afford to have it fixed or a new one. The ball player hit a home run, and when he did, he knocked out one of the stadium lights. Try to do that, why don't you? It was so cool. Sparks went flying everywhere.
Pitch!
The voice-activated pitching machine sends a neat, precise, uniform ball exactly over home plate, a little below Flash's belt line. Flash swings and sends the ball just enough over the head of a shortstop had one been defending for a first base visit. Just as precisely timed as the attempted home run hit, a gargantuan lightning strike sizzles and pops just outside of the stadium, hitting something that set off alarms.
How was that?
Yeah, that was your last hit. Let the professional show you how to punch a cloud. Don't pout. You won the pitching heat contest.
On style points, and boy is Hachi mad about it. He did have the fastest overall pitch, but they were all fastballs.
Sam Beatty is now in the batter's box, taking practice swings.
Yeah, buddy, you won that fair and square. When you have a curved ball that comes across as hot as a fastball, that should definitely be taken into consideration. Which leg do you want me to punch out? Now, be reasonable.
Just hurry up and win this thing. The next lightning bolt will probably take all the lights out and we will get to go in.
These rich guys all have private generators running that tar they call oil and...
Better hit the ball. Better get this done. Pitch!
The pitching machine responds to Flash's voice, tossing an imminently home-runnable ball, and the unprepared Beatty knocks it as far as the warning track just inside the foul line.
You shit.
Air-to-air lightning, almost as constant, continues just to the west of the stadium. Strangely, there is no accompanying thunder.
Hit, don't bitch! Do I have to call the ball again?
Pitch.
The ball heads squarely and inevitably toward Beatty's strike zone. Beatty connects. The ball leaves the bat heading toward the middle of the right field and can be easily followed white against a purplish-blue, viciously cloudy sky. Magic still exists even in this dystopic realm when on occasion the end of a bat of purpose connects with a white ball. The hit ball does break out a light with accompanying sparks and it immediately followed by a lightning strike. This time hitting the top row of the 3-story high stadium between home plate and first base. Bleachers shatter and a small fire starts. All the ball players run at a sprint toward the dugout. Lead security detail slaps his earphone and lowers his mouthpiece, asking for instructions from the executive suite above.
They're not answering. Let's get out of line of lightning fire.
The 4 security detail run toward the dugout, where the ball players and coaches are huddled, with the first ones there struggling to get the door to the locker room open and inside. Snake and Jack squat down in the dugout against the front concrete wall, in wait for the entering security detail. Jack gives a quick explanation to the disbelieving ball players as the door to the locker room is opened and players begin to head inside, away from the incredible lightning. Jack takes a bat away from one of the players and crouches down again.
This is Snake Plissken. He was a lieutenant in the last World War. What's left of the United States government sent us here to get you back on board that cargo plane and out there and away from the Reinholds. We will take care of these guys. Go inside.
The first security detail comes leaping down the steps. Snake still manages to trip him, and the second one following, so close behind, is made to fall down also. Jack is on them with the bat to their heads, that despite being helmeted, he manages to knock them unconscious. Snake then steps up into the stairwell and lands a knockout punch to the chin, the only thing left exposed by the helmet. Snake then spins the unconscious security around as the last security person comes down the steps using the unconscious dead weight body as a shield. At the last moment, Snake shoves the still upright unconscious guard at the oncoming guard, knocking down the last guard, and Jack clubs him through his helmet a few times and he moves no more. Snake and Jack go into the locker room after relieving 2 guards of some handguns. Interior, summer evening. The ball player, coaches, Jack and Snake are all inside the locker room. The room begins to vibrate.
What now?
Feels like an earthquake. We don't need to be underground during an earthquake.
We don't need to be above ground in a storm or lightning storm.
The room rumbles some more and Snake dashes to the door that leads to a hall and stairs to the first, then second tier of the stadium.
We need to be on that cargo plane and out of here.
What about Raoul? Yeah, what about Raoul?
Snake looks pained but does not speak.
Lieutenant Bliss, can you get my players onto that plane, wait for me and my coaching staff, and we'll bring Raoul, his baby daughter, and mother to the plane. Wait as long as you can, but get those guys out of here.
Snake nods his head yes, and the coaches run off down the hallway of the stadium looking for the dispensary. Dust begins to fill the hallway and the noise of earthquakes and lightning strikes can be heard outside. Snake leads them in the opposite direction, then the coaches went and finds a stairwell to ascend. Interior, day. The group is now on a transit and exit level, floor 2. The sound of the lightning, it's even louder. There is rumbling from the occasional tremor and something more. There is a constant rumbling and the dust hangs even heavier on their section since it is exposed to the outside. Snake runs over and jumps up on a solid concrete barrier that is only about 4 feet off the floor with concrete pillars at either end of the concrete barrier. Spectators could sit on the edge of this approximately 10 inches wide wall, all down this second floor walkway. Transit area for people entering or exiting, buying tickets to enter, and concessions. Snake sees what is making the constant rumbling, and it is coming close alongside the stadium and headed their way.
What is it?
Jack then jumps up on the other end of the section, using that pillar for steadying himself, and sees what it is.
It's a huge herd of buffaloes running from the storm.
Ball players now jump up on the concrete wall, clinging to the pillars to keep from falling off and down 2 stories to the ground. Others simply go to the wall and lean over to see.
Buffaloes? No kidding. And look in the trees across from us. People are in those trees.
Everyone looks into the trees maybe 75 feet away from the stadium. The native drummer and the shaman are in the trees. They see the ball players. Snake and Jack wave to them. The first buffalo run past them below, and after the first 2 or 3 have passed, first the shaman and then the drummer, wearing his drum on his back like a backpack, leap onto the backs of buffalo and cling there for their lives. That few lead buffalo now run past Snake, Jack, and the ball players, with the shaman looking up as he, clinging to his buffalo, rides by. He releases one hand and motions them to join him, and his drummer reclings and rides on.
Brother Snake, this is our ticket away from the storm. Remember your spirit guide? She came bravely all the way where we slept last night. She was trying to tell you to jump.
Jack then looks down and leaps off the concrete ledge, neatly onto the back of a racing buffalo.
Yip, 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 ah!
He's right. They will take us away from that.
Snake points due west, what can be seen just a little of with the stadium blocking the bulk of the line of continuous lightning. Exterior day. It is like a Tesla coil is rolling by above in the sky, with numerous strands of lightning coming out of the sky and hitting the ground almost continuously without going back up into the ominous blue, purple, and black clouds. They weave and snake back and forth across the ground and will hit the stadium soon with this curtain of lightning snakes. There are also earthquakes, tremors adding to the mayhem.
But they're running away from the planes.
Snake balances on the ledge and looks down the line of baseball players, now to a man watching the massive buffalo stampede pass below.
Running out of stampede, boys. Have faith. Where's your guts? See you where the buffaloes roam.
Exterior, late summer evening. Snake leaps off the wall almost in a laying face-down position and hits his buffalo bullseye. Snake immediately notices the word rye branded into his buffalo's left shoulder and the missing left ear. Snake grasps the deep fur with his fingers and then looks back over his right shoulder to see the bobbing heads of many ball players on Buffalo Back. Snake smiles.
Thanks, Ed.
Exterior, night. The summer sun is still barely above the horizon. The front line of storm clouds in the west no longer cover all the way down to the horizon, and some sun still peeks through. The storm clouds have already claimed 2/3 of the remainder of the sky and continue heading easterly, with the majority of the lightning spent over the stadium and nearby. The stampeding animals slow and stop after veering south once some space past the stadium and begin to graze. Their human passengers drop off like immense ticks and walk quietly through the herd back to the west towards the plains, their escape vehicles left untouched by the storm. But the lightning storm still rages specifically over the stadium. The electrical storm has hit the stadium, and with its earthquake and wind, the snakes of lightning sidewinding out of the sky act like a jigsaw slicing through the stadium. Once it is finished with the Reinhold's little gambling spectacle, it grows in ferocity and continues due east until it comes upon the pipelines. An old native shaman voice starts to tell the story of this night and how the pipelines were destroyed to listeners of the future.
The lightning snakes from the sky turn south at the evil pipeline, and a part of them turn north and follow the pipeline continuously, striking the line again and again, melting the pipe and creating one crumbling glass fulgurite of the black tar that never has a chance to hit the ground before it is turned to black glass and continues up and down the pipeline to the Gulf Coast and into Canada. The storm is the worst one ever recorded and seems to make the earth itself quake and leap up to meet the amazing lightning sky snakes.